American Airlines resources include their 10 central hubs across the United States as well as the 950 operational aircraft that fly between them while employing 100,000 employees throughout the company. This allows American Airlines to offer nearly 6,700 flights per day to 350 destinations. These functions are supported by supply chain and operations team to ensure flights stay on schedule with no lost luggage, while the distribution and marketing departments work to keep flights at maximum capacity and build brand loyalty. Despite these efforts, American continues to lack a sustainable competitive advantage. This is evident from their last place ranking among 7 major U.S. airlines in a recent third-party study. American Airlines has responded to changes in the demographic, sociocultural, and technological segments in various ways. They have made major investments in their Fort Worth, Dallas, and Charlotte hubs in response to population shifts across the country, while in the sociocultural segment they have addressed diversity awareness issues by introducing their Value of Respect program. In the technological segment, they have attempted to stay ahead of the curve through the introduction of real-time baggage tracking and improved flight logistics software. Highlights from the Five Forces model are the strong bargaining power of buyers because of low switching costs and the advent of travel sites, and that there is strong industry rivalry due to overlapping flight routes.
American's business-level strategy focuses on pricing and options available to customers. It wants to gain market share by stealing competitors' customers. To compete with low-cost carriers, American introduced basic economy fares, which are less expensive but come with restrictions like no overhead bags, no seat selection, and no cancellation. American segmented its market knowing that some travelers would still be willing to pay for the extra perks of full-service fares while others would choose basic economy. American has 4 ideas making up its corporate-level strategy. The first is to create a world-class customer experience. It recently introduced new meals and new wine programs on its flights. The second is to make culture a competitive advantage. American hosts a leadership conference where employees learn these objectives and are taught to implement strategies with their teams. The third idea is to ensure long-term financial strength, where it focuses on creating value for its owners. And the last objective is called Think Forward, Lean Forward, where American is creating an action-oriented culture. American filed for bankruptcy in 2011, and to help it reestablish, it merged with U.S. Airways. It's still an ongoing process today, and over the last 5 years, the reservation systems, loyalty programs, and other products involving customers have been combined. The last major integration will be combining technical operations to manage the maintenance program. American is part of the One World Alliance, which includes global airlines and encourages customers to use airlines in this alliance because it's easier to plan flights and they retain their status benefits across airlines. Recently, American proposed a joint venture with Qantas Airways. This was previously rejected by the Department of Transportation because combined they would account for too much of the Australia-US nonstop market. They are trying again, proposing that the joint venture would create $300 million in consumer benefits, including more connections and more fare-class options between North America, Australia, and New Zealand.
Doug Parker has served as American's CEO and chairman since 2013 and is the only inside director at the company. A veteran of the airline industry for nearly 30 years, in 2015, Mr. Parker gave up the cash portion of his compensation, saying that he would only be paid in stock to reflect his confidence in the company. He has led the company to profitability every year since 2014. In 2016, he was so confident in the company, he ended his own contract and became an at-will employee. In 2018, he publicly declared the airline would never lose money again. He is committed to making the airline the best in the world through integrity, honesty, and absolute dedication. American Airlines' own employees have a mostly unfavorable view of the company leadership. Their internal surveys show over 50% of employees gave an unfavorable rating when asked whether leaders make the right decisions. They take care of frontline team members. Nearly 50% also gave unfavorable ratings when asked whether leaders make the right decisions that support employees and whether leaders listen and understand the frontline team members' experience. In response to these unfavorable ratings from last year, American created a weekly podcast called Tell Me Why, in which senior executives are interviewed about big decisions. And company CEO and president Doug Parker and Robert Isom reportedly were on track to do 38 employee meetings in 2018. Leadership needs to get more aggressive in reaching out to frontline employees to understand why unfavorable ratings are so high. The airline industry is a service business, and Americans' frontline employees are the key part of the company's operations. While the podcast is a step in the right direction, everyone in leadership should visit employees at various hubs and facilities nationwide to speak and listen to them. Given that many of the frontline employees are unionized, the company is always vulnerable to a labor strike. By better interacting with the frontline employees, the executives can foster better relationships with them, make them feel valued, and lower the risk of a labor strike, which would severely impact profitability.
We recommend that American work diligently to improve their social media presence. By doing so, they will be able to extend promotional fares to loyal customers and improve their focus on connecting with their target market. Another recommendation is to begin standardizing their fleet by reducing the types of aircraft in service. This will allow them to become more streamlined in areas such as pilot training, maintenance of aircraft, and airport gate flexibility.